Okay, so some fresh batteries in the camera here, and I don't know how clear this is, but this is basically the configuration I have set up in the computer now. And I was going to delid the processor chip, but I changed my mind because when I removed the cooler, I could see what the problem was with my thermal issue right away. The factory cooler had way too much thermal paste, and that's my fault. I should have checked first before I put it together, and I was so excited about putting it together I just installed it stock without really checking how thick an application of paste was on the cooler. It came with the cooler. It was not satisfactory, and so I fixed that, and I have way better thermals now than before. And yet, for some reason, I'm really having challenges with the BIOS seeing my XMP memory. So an overclock currently is out of the question. So I'll be getting around to that at some point. Right now the Windows Experience Index is 7.8, so really fighting for that extra 0.1 is redundant, I think, especially for what I'm using it for right now. So I'm going to set this camera down so I can turn it, or the computer on its side. Okay, somehow. And maybe you can get a better view of it. What I get. Yeah, there we are. Now, opposed to the X58 motherboard, you're not going to see a whole lot here. Those are 4 DIMMs of RAM in there. The X58 motherboard has 6 banks for RAM, and I was running mine at 4 gigabytes per stick, tri-channel memory, so I was getting 24 gigabytes in total. And another thing is, you won't see a whole lot because of the thermal armor that's protecting the circuit board with the saber-tooth. I really do like the whole saber-tooth design and everything. I can't knock it. But yeah, I've got a nice Asus card, huge card, of course. This is right out here, way well past the ATX form factor. But yeah, I think I'm going to install my RAID card, even though I don't quite have my RAID cage yet, but it should be in any time. And I'm going to install my card reader, a different card reader than the one I had before. But this is very neatly wired. Very, the only real messy rat's nest I have is right in here, and I suppose I could trim it up a little bit still, but there's no rush on that either. What I do need to do, though, is remove the front bezel and get right at the side in here where I'm going to be putting in my see how you can see the light through the grid there, putting in my card reader. So I'll be turning off the camera for that. I just wanted to give you a look at inside. These little fans here are fans strictly designed for keeping the circuitry on the motherboard cool I've got one in there. I have another extra one right in here. Can't see it though, it's encased. And then I've got the push-pull configuration for the Cooler Master heatsink. And yes, getting much better thermals now with that. That should not really be a factor as to why I can't overclock. I think the main problem is that this motherboard refuses to see the XMP memory. And I've done there's a little switch here called MemoK for testing your memory and resetting your memory. It checks, it's fine. It's just that the BIOS refuses to see the XMP end of the memory on this particular Kingston HyperX Genesis RAM. So anyway, there it is. This is my cache. I've got one SSD in the cache now, and I hope to be putting in another one at some other point. It will marry. These two will marry and really speed up the system later on down the road, just as a cache. And but no big rush on that really right now. I'm more concerned with my primary, which would be right here. And that's the thing, you can see, okay, right there, it's underneath the card. That's the thing though, okay, there's really 8 there, but this card's covering it. But my primary's up there, this blue SATA wire, that's my primary. So we're looking at 8 ports in total, and 2 of them are already taken up for cache. So, you've got only, really 6 independent, ports like that. And I like my options. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is this is not really the board that I want to keep, although it's a good board, and I don't mean to knock it, and I'm not even trying to. I just I think it might be a better board for the wife, and I always did want to go this way. And I actually bought this board with the idea that I would eventually be going to what I thought would be an X79, but turns out the X79 is really becoming a thing of the past. Gen 3. This board we're looking at right now is a Gen 4, and so I probably will be going from the X58 to the X99. And I'll likely be going that way. This particular motherboard is the Z series. It's the Haswell Z87. Can't knock it. It's a nice, and even an enthusiast board, you could say, but probably better tailored to my wife's needs. And I will be very likely pulling this board out of here and putting it in a different case. Definitely more of a computer than the wife will probably ever really put to use, but nice, very nice. I spoil her. But then, that's because I spoil myself. And when I get that other motherboard with all 12 ports, I like the idea of having 12 ports. 12 ports is more suited to this type of case, alright? This sort of case, it has tremendous capacity. This Thermaltake GT, it may be a funny looking case, it may look ugly, some people say it looks cheap, some people say it looks like Darth Vader. I love the hot swappable bays. Very handy, very good, very useful. And when I finally do get my 2 cages here in the front. Only one will be actual real RAID. The other will just be, primary operating system and a backup SSD. That's basically all that will be. But that's what I mean. When I get a RAID card in here, and I think I'll be putting it in here. It should be interesting. It should be. I'll definitely have lots of room for hard drives and things, but eventually I do want to be moving over to the Haswell E, I suppose. I guess that's what it would be. The last of the 22 nanometer platforms, I believe. At least if everything I'm reading is correct, it will be the last of the 22 nanometer platform. And of course, this is one of the first of the 22 nanometer platforms. So yeah, how about that? Looks like the wife and I will eventually be both using Haswells, and I think that's okay. I'll be more of a server platform and she'll be more of a gamer platform. Alright, thanks for watching. God bless.